In my last video, I created an NGINX container in my local cluster here through workload deployment here. And now I can see that the NGINX is running and is active. However, this NGINX deployment is not visible to the outside world. In order to do that, you're going to have to set up a load balancing as a network setting. If you go to edit configuration of your deployment, you can see that the network has not been set up. Now, in order to do that, you're going to have to install MetalLB. Let me show you how this network setting for load balancing is done. Click on Add Port and Service. And the service type, you're going to select load balancing. And let's give this load balancing a name. Maybe let's call it LB NGINX. Maybe 123 or something. And I'm going to open port 8080, whatever port number that you want to have the outside world facing. Then after that, I'm going to click on Save. And you can see that the NGINX will be redeploying again. If you go in here, you can see that the existing container will be terminated here shortly, but they are creating a new container for me with the load balancing. You can see this is being terminated and this thing is running. But if you go to services and then if you roll your cursor on top of it here, you can see that it does not have any IP address. If you look at the bottom left-hand corner of the screen as I move this over here, in order to do that, you're going to have to set up MetalLB. And let me show you how that can be done. Let's go back to home here so that you know where you're starting from. First thing to do is to go to your cluster, wherever you want to install MetalLB to. And after that, you're going to go to apps and make sure you select this chart here. And over here, you're going to, on the filter, you're going to type Metal, METALL2LB, and you can see this thing is available. If you're wondering what the orange color represent, if you pull down here, you can see orange color represent partners, developer who actually developed this MetalLB is not part of Rancher or part of RKE2. So you're going to click on this guy here because it's the only ones available to us. And after that, on the far right hand corner, there's an install button here. Click on install. And then over here, you can assign either system default or any other projects that you want to install to. I'm just going to leave it as default for mine because that's where I've set up most of my projects on, and click on next. And after that, I'm going to click on install, and that installation will take a bit. And on the bottom, you'll show you the status as they make progress of the installation. Once the installation is complete, you should see a success Helm install message like this. Once that's done, let's close this here. And then you're going to click on this import YAML here. Over here, you're going to select the default namespace. I know my MetalLB is installed on MetalLB system here. If you're not too sure, you can go back and look at where the MetalLB is installed. Let's do that right now, actually. Let's go back to our main screen here. Go to our local cluster where we just installed MetalLB. Then after that, go to apps and install apps. And if you scroll down and look for MetalLB, you can see the namespace for MetalLB is MetalLB system here. Once you determine the namespace, you're going to click on this icon here, import YAML, and then change the default namespace to MetalLB like this. And on this entry here, you're going to enter the following entry here. Make sure that the indentations are correct. Let's say if you didn't enter the indentation correctly, you'll see an error message or error icon appearing on the left-hand side. Make sure the indentations are correct. After that, you enter the IP address pool here. I know that the following IP address ranges are available for me. In this range here, this might be different for your purpose. And this is the range that's available for me. Once that's done, you're going to go import and click on close. So over here, to see whether your setting has been properly imported into your system, you can go to more resources, and there'll be an additional new entry here called MetalLB.io, and you expand this here. And if you look at the IP pool address, if you go in here, you can actually see all the settings and including the IP ranges that you have set up recently. Now, if you go back to your workload and deployment, and then if you go to your NGINX, and then let's go to service, make sure that your container has been properly assigned a proper IP address. And if you put your cursor over it here, you can see on the bottom left-hand corner here, you can see the IP address of 192.168.50.100:8080 has been assigned as a load balancer IP address.